to my channel today, and we are doing a brand new Sims 4 speed build today. And so today I am building a nice little small family home for a family of 2 for my brand new Let's Play that's going to be starting next month, hopefully in time for the Sims 4 Get Famous expansion pack on the 16th. And so hopefully you guys are pumped and ready and excited for this new experience of a Sim story. Plus, I will be involving different characters in each and every other episode. Hopefully every 5 episodes we'll switch to a different family and kind of just rotate out and see what's what, so you guys can get the gist of who the characters are, where they live, and how they act on a day-to-day basis. And so this family right here is actually a family of 2, which you can see them like right down there in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Quite briefly, it's a family of 2, but it was actually a family of 3, so it's consisted of a toddler and a teenager. And it's not your typical teenage pregnancy story. Okay, it kind of is, but it's something that I feel like would make sense to me. Hopefully it will make sense to you when I tell the story in a minute. But this storyline is something that I feel like that is kind of generic, but also something that I feel like has happened in real life to some people. I'm not sure who, but you know, I kind of go off of what I see from like in real life, but also like in movies and books that I read on the daily to kind of get inspiration for storytelling. And that's where like, I usually get my storytelling inspiration from when creating a Sim story. When I either create a character for the Sims, like when I'm actually creating a character while in Create a Sim, I usually come up with their storyline as I'm creating them, putting myself into their shoes and seeing what their life would be like if I was them. But I also get kind of my ideas from like podcasts, movies, books, TV shows, day-to-day real life stuff on the news. And so I try to put those type of scenarios in a Sims character, and it becomes too real and it gets ugly and there's so much drama, and I'm ready for it. Sometimes, but then sometimes I just want to delete them and it doesn't end well for them. Either way, I'm just excited for that. And so how's everyone's day today? I use like the accent, usually, how's are you doing? What's up? Today is nice. It's a lovely Friday right now, 11:09 a.m. for me. Not sure when I'm gonna post this video, probably sometime next week. I don't know, either way, but I'm actually going to Sims camp in London, so by the time you're watching this video, maybe I might be gone. I might be either on a plane, or I'm already there, or I'm just already back from Sims camp. I don't know when I'm going to post this. I might post it on a Thursday. I'm not really sure just yet, but expect some vlogs from me when I'm at Sims camp in London, and some other photos and such stuff with the peeps. So for the storyline for this family is, again, consists of a toddler and a teenager, but there was actually a teen, a young adult, and a toddler, or teen and young adult. So Ebony Shelby is technically like the main character of this Let's Play, just because she was the first one that I actually created. And I wasn't planning on making a series, but I wanted to make something new, and so I decided to use her because her facial features, the way she is, and kind of what I kind of came up for a storyline for her, which is also pretty cool. And so what I did is like I wanted to make a teen pregnancy story, but something that I felt was simple but had a sense of like had some meat on its bones to give it life, if that makes any sense. And so Ebony Shelby and was 15 years old at the time when she just started high school, but there was this guy named Samir Donovan who was the captain of the football team. She was actually a music student and was going there for a music scholarship because the school was an academy, and you had to like either get a scholarship or either kind of just pay it for yourself. And so she got there on a scholarship, on a music scholarship of becoming a musician and the guitar and singing. And so that's what she kind of wants to do in her life. But that kind of took a turn 3 years later into her life. Well, technically 9 months into her life. Well, no, actually no, a year, like when she was a freshman. And then she met Samir Donovan, who was her boyfriend at the time and is the father of the baby, or the child right now. And so a year later, they already met when like she was a freshman and he was a senior. They kind of talked a little bit, they hung out, and then like they started dating. And after Samir kind of graduated from high school, he went off to college. And so what had happened was that he, the typical jock superstar football player, and he was more not on the good side of things. He hung out with the wrong crowd. And so what had ended up happening is that they got together, and then she was, you know, a little bit juiced up too much at a party, at her first high school party, where there was, like, you know, juice that was not supposed to be there, and kind of just happened. And so they ended up woohooing, and then she got pregnant after a while, and then when he found out, they broke up. And then he kind of regretted breaking up with Ebony at the time until Alicia was born. And so when Alicia was born, Ebony decided to actually kind of take him off, like, you know, parent custody, because he technically wasn't really there, and he was technically, they were all still kids in a way, but he was more of the adult than her. And so what Ebony had to do is kind of grow up a lot faster. And when her mom found out that she was pregnant, they were kind of disappointed in her at the time. And so what Ebony decided to do is actually get emancipated, and at the age of 16, when she had Alicia, to move out on her own, live somewhere else. So she decided to go ahead and live with her friends that she had from her music group. And they said, sure, why not? And so later down the line, let's skip over to about 3 years later. So as of right now, they are financially stable in the fact of a way where Ebony still has her scholarship in that private school, paid by her parents, but also paid by her, because she got the scholarship on her own by her own talent. And the money that she saved up from all of the music competitions she went to, all the singing competitions, all like the grants and loans and stuff like that, she was able to get because she was a teen mom, but also the fact that she is emancipated. And since the government of San Myshuno, more of the mayor of San Myshuno is her uncle, which is the craziest thing in the world. So her uncle is the mayor of not San Myshuno, the mayor of Oasis Springs. And so what he did is that he kind of hooked her up to put her into this small, humble abode house where she could live comfortably with her daughter, but also have her to kind of have a sense of ownership, adulthood, and have this to see what the real world is like. And so that's what he kind of did, and now I'm so grateful that he did that. But Ebony is a very stubborn person. She was always stubborn. She was always that type of person that didn't want to be she didn't want to be given things. She wanted to earn them. And so it was kind of hard for her to kind of accept this type of offer, because like a huge house that had all this furniture in it for her daughter and herself was a lot for her to take in. And she didn't want to be saying that she was like, she didn't appreciate the stuff that she's been getting since she had her kid, but she wants to know that she's grateful and she's appreciative of the things that she was offered at this stage in her life. So when Samir and Ebony actually broke up about a year later, when she found out she was pregnant, what Samir did is that he is back in college. He was a sophomore at the time, so we kind of skipped over a year later. When Samir was hanging out in the wrong crowd as a sophomore, he wasn't the best person when it came to being reliable, trusted, or caregiving, and he never really visited his daughter at the time, or, you know, he kind of, you know, said happy birthday, gave her a gift or two, but that was pretty much it. But then Samir got into some legal stuff, because, you know, college life is not the best life for Samir. He went up and actually selling some substances, and they were illegal, and he wasn't very, let's just say, he wasn't the best at hiding it. And so what the campus police or public safety did, they do like this nationwide school-wide sweep of like all the dorms and everything. It takes like a couple days to do it all, because, you know, so many people. And what had ended up was happening is that Samir ended up actually going to jail because of how many things he was actually selling at the time to a couple students at his school. And those kids got in trouble too. They got, you know, expelled for using that stuff. But Samir had ended up going to jail because he was the one who was selling it and actually kind of distributing it to like individuals. And so it was not the best time for him. And when Ebony found out that he went to jail, and on account, he's still in jail. He's been going to jail for about, and that was last year, so that's like only been a year. He's going to jail for 15 years. Count them, 15 years. And his little girl is 3 years old. She's going to be 18 at the time that he gets out. that's not the best time for him. So basically, Ebony kind of shut him out of her life. And you know, every now and then she kind of goes and see what he's up to and kind of just talk to him and kind of give more of an update of what's happening with Alicia. And so Ebony's parents don't really come by that often. They don't really take care of Alicia when she's gone, when Ebony's off, you know, at school or at her job or whatever. And so, and at the time, you know, this is actually, Ebony works for her uncle at the, you know, the mayor's house or whatever. So she's like, she's a secretary, but also like runs errands and like does like these musical festivals every now and then, just because, you know, family supports family. But now her parents support her own daughter, which is freaking hilarious. And so what Ebony is doing now is working for her uncle at his house for some special things, which is great. But the funny thing is that when it was time for Alicia's 3rd birthday and she was preparing to go to preschool, they got a call. Well, they first got a letter from the penitentiary jail of Oasis Springs. I don't know how, you know, say jail terms. Thank the Lord, I don't know. But the jail of Oasis Springs, they sent a letter out to Ebony's address because Samir wanted to like deliver a letter to his daughter saying happy birthday. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. You know, Daddy's like doing some different things and he can't really spend time. And at the time, you know, this time Alicia doesn't really know much words, but she understands some things, but she doesn't really know why her daddy's not there with her at the time. And Ebony said, you know, sweetie, everything's gonna be all right. Trust me, Daddy loves you so much, and he will do his best to see you one day. And Ebony's like in a tough position where she wants her to meet her father, but doesn't want her to meet her father and tell him that he's a very bad man. He did really bad things, and she doesn't really want to do that, but she has to figure out what's best for her daughter and what's best for herself as an individual to see how she can grow, one as a mother, but also as a person, and see where life takes her. So maybe by the time when Alicia is like 6 or 7 years old, she might end up taking her daughter over to the jailhouse to kind of visit her father and kind of just talk to her and see what's what. Because in my mind, I don't think he could ever see his daughter for what he has done in the past, and this is not the only thing he has done. Like, when he was a kid, he has gotten through so much trouble. He has gone to juvie twice. But now he's in jail. So, like, in, you know, the big house, you know, the big grown-up place of juvie. So, he went to juvie at the age of 9, and granted, he was not in the best position of his life when his living situation. His mother was on some who knows what. His father was on who knows what as well. So he was basically on his own, causing trouble on a day-to-day basis. And so went to juvie first time at the age of 9. And then he went to juvie again at the age of, I think, 12 or I think it was 13, but they counted him as a like minor, so they sent him off to juvie at the age of 13, and that was not the best time. But when he got out, it only took a couple months. But then later down the line, his parents lost custody of their child, so he went up into foster care, and foster care was not the best thing for him at the time. And so what had ended up happening is that Samir ran away from foster care. He was like, you know, screw this, I don't freaking care, I'm gonna live my own. So he has been living on the streets until he was able to kind of meet Don Lothario. And let me tell you, there is so many things in Samir's life that where he had ended up at Don Lothario's house, his doorstep. I literally cannot comprehend on how many things are happening with Samir and Don Lothario. And Don isn't the best. He has gone in through so much pain, so much trouble with Samir, but also Don himself is in the criminal career at level 6, or the highest level that you can go in the criminal career, but he's like lower down, but he still owns like a piece of the company. So he asks Samir to do these things for him that are not legal. And so again, Samir got caught. when he was in college, and he was working for Don at the time when he was in college, and so that's how he ended up in jail, and that's why he's in jail for 15 years and cannot see his daughter until he gets out, or Ebony has the courage to get up and tell her daughter that your daddy's in jail, but we're going to go visit him and see what's what and see what's happening until she's at the appropriate age to understand what's really is going on. And I honestly believe that maybe one day she'll come to her senses and do that for her daughter, just so she can meet her father. And she never really met her father. She thought her father kind of just left her and never really cared for her. But she knew that, you know, that he sent her letters on her birthdays and, you know, did things for her when he was not there, but Ebony was there for her to kind of just step in as a mother and father for the both of her, like, you know, stuff like that. And that's pretty much it though for right now. I have a lot more to talk about on the Don Lothario side, and I might actually renovate his house to kind of explain more of Samir, Ebony, Alicia, and Don all together as a whole, because they all four of them, so just technically just three of them, Don, Ebony, and Samir, are all somewhat connected in a way of the fact that where Samir ended up doing all these like crazy things in his life, and now he's working for Don. And the funny thing is, he's still working for Don when he is in jail. Let that sink in right now. The fact that he's still working for Don has a little bit intel, because Don has buddies in that prison where and you can see where the point I'm actually getting frustrated right now, because I literally do not like Don or Samir right now, because the fact that Samir has a 3-year-old daughter, and he still works for Don and does not know the consequences that can end up for him if he continues to do this and gets caught. He can literally end up in jail for the rest of his life if he is not careful, or if he does not stop or what he is doing. I'm fine. Everything's fine. No, it's not fine, because I literally am freaking frustrated at one sim that is literally not real, and I literally just want to delete him, but he's great, because he looks great, because I created him, but you know, his storyline, I don't like it, but it's cool, but it's fine. Either way, I think what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and wrap up this video right here, because I literally went over the time. The original video was like 14 minutes, but now it's going to be 19 minutes long, so you're welcome, a longer video. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and actually wrap up this video right here. I really hope you guys much enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below, as always, of what do you think of the storyline. Do you hate Samir as much as I do, and do you hate Don Lothario as much as I do? Because I literally hate them both. And I feel bad for Ebony and also Alicia. And Alicia, the fact that she's 3 years old, does not know her own father. Just, yeah, so either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!